Hi, my name is Gene. I'm going to tell you a story about finding the Baha'i faith. My relationship to God was unsettling at the very beginning. I remember watching old home videos and seeing me kneel beside my bed saying my prayers. And the prayer was, "Now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. If I should die before I wake, I pray the Lord my soul to take." Well, making videos in those days was pretty stressful in itself because of all the equipment that we had to use compared to the convenience of using cell phones nowadays. But I had questions and I asked my parents, what is God? Who is God? What is a soul? It seemed like something essential. And where is heaven? What my parents didn't realize when they made that video is that part of my nightly routine was stressing over these questions. I lay under my blankets in the dark and I'm thinking, is God going to take my soul? He's going to keep it? What's he going to do with it? Am I going to die before I wake? So they didn't have any answers to my questions that really were satisfying to me, that really reduced my anxiety. So I kind of went along and I was kind of ambivalent about the whole existence of God, and if he existed, was he a kind God or a punishing God? I really didn't know. The only experience with religion that was really fun for me was at family gatherings where my adult relatives would fight each other over the religion. And this was really great, fireworks and people slamming their fists on the table and angry expressions, and then at one point my grandma would say, "That's enough, stop it!" And everybody would look sheepishly across the table at one another and laugh, and and everybody realized that they were just having fun, I guess, and I couldn't wait to have that kind of fun. I guess I grew up thinking that religion was kind of a crutch for weaklings. I had kind of scorn for religious people. Even when I got into college, I was college age, I didn't have any real understanding about the existence of God. Maybe he existed, maybe he didn't. I didn't really know. Anyhow, I got into the Navy, and in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, I found God. I was standing on a flight deck in total darkness, a darkness that I had never witnessed on land, with the sky spread out in front of me. Beautiful, beautiful display of stars and Milky Ways and so forth. And I looked up and I said, "This is no happy accident. There must be a creator." And that was it. I believed in God. So when I got out of at another time in the Navy on shore, I came home one evening after an evening of revelry with some friends, and I walked in and I was heading toward my dorm, but standing between me and the dorm was this group of guys, and as I pushed my way through the men, one of the guys was talking about his religion. He was always talking about his religion, it seemed. And usually I just ignored these conversations, but that night it was different. And I looked at him and I said, "Religion sucks. Religion is for weaklings. Loser." And I stumbled my way to the bunk, fell asleep. Well, I got out of the Navy, I was searching for meaning. I was trying to find my purpose in life. And at work I met a guy who was a member of the Baha'i faith. And one day he invited me to a Baha'i fireside. Well, Baha'i fireside is an informal presentation and discussion about the tenets of the Baha'i faith. So as we're driving to this fireside, I'm remembering my experience at these family gatherings, and I'm thinking, oh boy, I'm going to have some fun tonight. I'm going to mess with some people's minds. And so we get to the host house, and I walk in and I have this tremendous feeling come over me, and I'm going, what's this, And I said, this is not what I expected, just from this feeling. So I sat and I listened. I was quiet the entire time, and I listened. So what I learned was that God has provided for humanity by providing us with these chosen ones to give us his will and his knowledge from time to time. And they're called revealers, or as the Baha'is call them, manifestations of God, because they manifest all the qualities of God. They are the Word of God for a particular point in development of humanity. And to hear them is to hear God. To listen to them is to listen to the Word of God. So this is how God connects with us. That's the gap. That's those intermediaries fill the gap between the Creator and His creation. Well, I was really excited about that, and I went to a lot of firesides, met a lot of youth, but I had to get some distance. I had to make this decision for myself. Is Baha'u'llah who he claims to be? So I decided to visit my brother in Europe, who was studying in Germany, and we visited a lot of countries. And at one point we stopped in Cologne, Germany, late in the day, just before dinner time. And I sent my brother on. I said, I'll join you in the dining area. And I sat on my bunk and I said, I've got to decide. Is Baha'u'llah the manifestation of God for this day? I can't prove it logically. I can't disprove it. I can't rely on my emotions. I just believe it. And that was it. I believed. So shortly after that, I went back to the States and I enrolled in the Baha'i faith. And my new friends wanted me to see the Baha'i House of Worship in Wilmette, Illinois. And after the worship service, they said, you must see the Cornerstone Room. The Cornerstone Room is this area where for prayer and meditation is very special. So I'm walking down this long corridor to the Cornerstone Room. And at one point I see this person walking towards me that looks very familiar. When we're about 10 feet from one another, we both stop pointing at each other with these expressions of incredulity, whatever that word is, on our faces. And he says, what are you doing here? And I say, what are you doing here? Standing before me is my former crewmate who, from the Navy, who apparently had just recently declared his faith in his belief in Baha'u'llah at that time. Now I too felt the same feeling that he must have felt at that time, and I too wanted to share my discovery with everyone. Well, so the point is that after all those years, my answers that I had at 5 years old were finally answered. God is unknowable, yet he communicates with us through his revealers. I am a soul, a spiritual being having a brief material existence. Heaven is not a place, but it's a condition of drawing nearer to God. My purpose in life is to know and love God. And since I'm created in his image, my purpose in life means that I know and love myself and others, and express that in all my earthly endeavors, and carry forward an ever-advancing civilization.